Hey guys! So, I'm going to be doing my top 15 books of 2015, which I know I am pretty late on. I just have been super busy lately. I ended up having to go back to school, even though I wasn't supposed to be going back until the fall because lone people are bitches. Anyway, so I'm gonna be going through these 15 books that are my favorites of 2015. So, here we go. So, first one off the bat is Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, the illustrated version by J.K. Rowling. I totally said philosopher, but it's really Sorcerer's Stone because this is, United States version, but whatever. Anyway, so yeah. And this is just the most beautiful book. It's gorgeous. It's so gorgeous. And inside is gorgeous. Inside is so gorgeous, and just I love this book. Reading it was a joy, and I'm just so happy that I own it. And now when I reread the first one, I can go back and reread this version, and I'm excited that they're doing the rest in this. And I need more room because I'm gonna have like 2 Harry Potter shelves now. But anyway, this was amazing, and I loved it, and I'm just so happy I have it. Alright, and my next top book of 2015 is Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. This was one of my all-time favorite books that I've read because I related to the main character a lot because I'm a writer myself, and I write fan fiction, and the way that she's obsessed with Simon Snow is the way that I'm obsessed with Harry Potter, so it just, it really was relatable for me, and I just really, really loved it, and it was just a fantastic, fantastic book. And so you can probably guess my next favorite book of 2015, Carry On, also by Rainbow Rowell. This is the fan fiction that the character Kath in Fangirl was writing, and when I found out that this was going to be a thing, I had this book pre-ordered before it even had a cover. I had it was just amazing, and I love it. It's so great, and it reads just like a fan fiction because it is a fan fiction, and it just makes you so happy. And I hear a lot of people that have like put it down at like page 150, and I'm just like, why? And everybody's like, the beginning's slow, and I'm like, not really. It's awesome. I guess if you don't read a lot of fan fiction, you probably wouldn't like it because, it reads just like a fan fiction. So unless you're an avid reader of fan fiction, I don't know. I feel like people should still like it. But whatever. People have their own opinions, that's great. But I love this book, and the map inside is just so gorgeous. Look at that map. And look, the hardcover is pretty. Ooh. I actually, because, of how early I had pre-ordered this, I got a little party packet with it, and it came with like some tea and a balloon and tattoos or whatever, all this kind of cool little stuff that I have, so that was pretty cool. And then my next one is You're Never Weird on the Internet, almost, by Felicia Day, who plays Charlie on Supernatural, and also did a web stream show called The Guild that is on Netflix that I have watched about 10 times through or so. I love that show, but I love Felicia Day, and I did end up getting to meet her, and my book is signed by her, and it was just one of the most fantastic experiences of my life to get to meet her, because she's definitely one of my greatest heroes, and I just really love her, and she's just awesome, and this book is awesome. And I'm not one to usually read memoirs, but I read this one and I loved it, and it's great. If you are a gamer, or you're just really geeky, you're a fangirl, any of that, read this book because it's gonna relate to you a bunch, and you're gonna have a fantastic time reading it. My next one is A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. And I picked this one up, let me see. It was either right after I read Queen of Shadows or right before I read Queen of Shadows, but I remember reading it because I was like, I need more Sarah J. Maas in my life, and so I picked it up and I was like, yes, and it's just really great, and I love how it's got the whole seasons as kingdoms thing, and I love the characters. I love Temal and all of them, and Feyre's great, and I loved this book. And my cat actually clawed this up, which made me mad, but at the same time, it kind of looks a little cool because it kind of goes with the cover, because it's got like the barbed wire looking stuff, so it kind of adds an edge to my book. So yeah, but no, I really did love this book. Every book that I'm showing you guys, I gave 5 out of 5 stars to, so just so you are aware of that. But yeah, this was a great book, and I got through it pretty quickly, and I can't wait for the next one because it left off on a stupid cliffhanger, and it makes me really, well, not really a cliffhanger, it kind of settled some things, but like there's stuff that's like open that you're just like, so I can't wait for A Court of Mist and Fury, which will be the sequel to this. And my next favorite book of 2015 is Queen of Shadows by Sarah J. Maas. This was phenomenal. I loved it, and I hear people that say like this is their least favorite in the series, and I'm like, what's wrong with you? Because this is so great. Like, everything that I wanted to happen ended up happening, and it's so great. And like, I was one of those people who totally shipped Selena and Kel, but when I read Air of Fire, my opinion changed, and I jumped on the Selena and Rowan ship, and my ship has sailed. My ship has sailed. I don't even care. So I am really, really excited for the next book in this, and I loved that this was huge because we waited forever, and whatever. Yeah, so I'm just really excited for the next one, and I just can't wait to see more about this, and I'm so excited that one guy is gone. I'm not gonna say his name because it's a spoiler, but if you've read this, you know what I'm talking about. That he is finally out of the picture, no more. Excited, and I really loved like the budding friendship between Selena and Lestrada, and her little backstory and everything. Like, that was super cool to learn, and just this was just such a good book. Okay, my next one is gonna be Clockwork Princess by Cassandra Clare. So I read The Infernal Devices like earlier this year, and or earlier in 2015. But this was so good. Just, I loved everything that happened in this book. I love Will and Tessa. Like, oh, I shipped it so hard. But like, you can't, like, even though you want those two to be together, like, you still love Jim, and you still want Jim to be able to be with Tessa too. And then just, I'm gonna shut up because I'm gonna spoil it, but oh my god, you guys, this book just gives you all the feels. It breaks your heart, and then it puts it back together, and then it does it like 2 more times, and then everything is good, and it's just and the one thing that we learn about Jim that ties in with the Mortal Instrument series, oh my god, it was such a mind blow. Anyway, yes, one of my favorite books of 2015. Now this one I recently read, Snow Like Ashes by Sarah Rosh. I read this like the day after Christmas because this was one of my Christmas gifts, but I loved it. I waited for this for months and months and months because I was gonna buy it, but then my boyfriend was like, no, wait till Christmas, and I was like, so I had to wait forever to get this book. So when I finally did, I was so excited, and I read it in like a day, and it was just so good, so action-packed. Again, the whole seasons, our kingdoms, and just, it was so good, and the main character is such a badass, and she's great, and I love her, and, and what happened at the end, like, it totally caught me by surprise, but at the same time, when I was thinking about it, I was like, it didn't really, so it's Yeah, it's confusing. But anyway, so yeah, this was one of my favorite books, and I need Ice Like Fire now. One of my next favorite books of 2015 was the Shannara Chronicles, Book 1, The Elfstones of Shannara by Terry Brooks. This is a chunky book, and this took me probably like a week to get through because usually chunky books I read pretty fast, but this one is in mass market paperback form because that was the only copy we could find at the bookstore we were at that day, and I was not leaving that bookstore without this book, so I got this form. But I do not like mass market paperback. I absolutely hate it. It's hard for me to read mass market paperback because the font is so small, and I just don't get motivated to read books that are in mass market paperback, so... But I did read it, and it was so good. It was so good. And I read it because I had seen the trailer for the TV show, and I was like, oh my god, elves. I was like, wait, that's based on a book. I have to have the book. So I got the book, and then I read the book. And so now I am watching the TV show, which I'm already pissed off about the shit that they changed. Like, I get, when you do an adaptation, you're gonna change stuff. But why do they always change the most major things that, like, if you change, you're basically changing the meaning of the entire story? Like, why? Same thing with the stupid Shadowhunter show. Same freaking thing. They've totally screwed it up. I'm just so mad. I'm so mad. And I'm probably going to keep watching both shows because, well, the Shannara Chronicles I like better because it's not as bad, but like Shadowhunters, like I'm probably going to keep watching it because I want it to get better because I love those books, but like, man, it is hard. Okay, anyway, I'm getting off topic. But anyway, this was a fabulous book. I still need to get the Wish Song of Shannara, which is the second book to this, so that I can read that. And I think I'm actually going to pick up the Sword of Shannara, which is kind of like the prequel to this one, because I really love Alan, and I know that he's in it. And also, I just kind of want to know that story because it seems interesting to me about Will's father and all of that stuff, and it just, yeah. Exciting! Or, yeah. Anyway. But yeah, I'm pretty excited, so, about picking up the next book and about the show, even though it's got a little bit of problems, but yeah. So, what I'm also really excited about with the show is that at least the Elcries, like, the Elcries looks like what it's supposed to look like. You know, that was my main thing. Is that it looks like what it's supposed to look like. So yeah, this was one of my favorite ones. Alright. One of my next favorite was Fire with Fire by Jenny Han and Soben Vivian. I always butcher that name, I'm sorry. Anyway, this was so good. This is the second book in the Burn for Burn trilogy, and I cannot even believe the things that happened. This had the biggest, like, twist, turner, I don't even know, what's the word I'm looking for right now, but, like, that thing, like, oh my god, it was so crazy. I was not expecting it at all, and I was just like, what? How is that even possible? And I can't wait to get my hands on the third book so I can figure out and get answers to all the questions I have now because of this book, but it was just so good, and I love this series because it reads so fast, because you're just flipping the pages like there's no tomorrow, because you just want to know what happens next, and it's just so good. It's so good. Okay. And one of my next top books of 2015 is Fable, Blood of Heroes by Jim C. Hines. This was such a good book. I loved getting to see what the heroes are going to be like in the Fable Legends game that's coming out. I am just, it was so good to read. It was so nice to read about it because Fable is like my favorite series of video games, and so to be able to combine that with books was just the best thing ever. But I'm upset because the video game was supposed to have released sometime in 2015, because whenever you would check the release date, all it said was 2015. Obviously, 2015 has come and gone, and it is still not released. And I think the last time I looked up any information about it, it said that they are going to do an open beta for everyone in the springtime, like March or April. And I'm just like, seriously, you're not even releasing the game then? You're just doing an open beta for everybody then? And I'm just like, when is this game going to be released? It should have already been released. The book is released. Where's the freaking game, guys? Anyway, enough ranting about that, but this was a really good book. Okay, and my last 4 favorite books of 2015, they are all in a series, and you're going to be like, why didn't you just pick the first one? And be like, yeah, and then pick 3 other books to show us. Because these are so good, they all deserve to be in this list. Like, this is the most excited I've been about a series since Harry Potter, and if you know me, you know that is like the like highest compliment that somebody can get from me about their work. Like, Morgan Rhodes, you are amazing. I love it. Okay. And I just spoiled what it is, but obviously, Falling Kingdoms by Morgan Rhodes, Rebel Spring by Morgan Rhodes, Gathering Darkness by Morgan Rhodes, and Frozen Tides by Morgan Rhodes. Oh my god. You guys. So I discovered this series later this year. I read all of these like a month ago, and I read them all in like a span of 2 weeks, I think, is what it was. But they are... No! I'm sorry that happened. Okay. But they are all so good, and I just... the character development is insane. Like, just in the first book, Cleo goes through some major character development, because at the beginning of the first book, I freaking did not like her at all. Like, she was my least favorite character, and then by the end of the book, she was, like, one of my favorites. My favorite character, though, still remains to be Magnus. Like, it's gonna be Magnus, because he is bae, even though sometimes he sucks. But, yeah, it's just such a good series, and I'm just so excited about it, and, I just wish I had the next one already, because it's so good. See, that's the thing that kind of sucks about getting into these into a series later on, because you're not used to having to wait. You're used to being able to be like, oh, I'll just go to the bookstore and get the next one today. And then once you get all caught up, you're like, well, what am I supposed to do now? So that really, really sucks. But, I mean, I have plenty of books to read until then. My TBR is insane. I have like 112 books on it right now. So I'm going to try to get that down and maybe try to have 0 by 16. I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. I'd be happy if I at least got it down to like 50 or below 50. I'd be happy with that. So we'll see what happens on that front. But yeah, like I said, oh my god. This series, you guys, if you haven't read it, like, please go read it. Go read it and talk to me about it, because it's just, I just love this series so much. I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it. Thank you, Morgan Rhodes, for just giving me something to be super excited about, because I haven't had that in a while. Alright. That is all of my favorite books of 2015. Again, I am sorry that it took me so long to do this video. I've just been super busy with everything lately. I do plan on doing a bookshelf tour as soon as I move and get settled, because I'm probably getting new bookshelves, because the ones that I have right now, they are charcoal color wood, and the room, like, the place I'm going to be staying in is, like, it's got wood walls, and they're, like, light wood, so those aren't going to match. So we're probably going to go get bookshelves that do match, so I'm going to do a bookshelf tour once I move in and get those bookshelves and get that all set up. But anyway, so yeah, that's all for this video, and I will see you guys later.